Hey there! Today we'll talk about another pen by Scrivener. Scrivener sent me two of these. This is the classic British racing green. They also sent me a black one that I'll show you when I tilt the camera down. Scrivener is based in the UK. I think they make pretty nice pens. They seem to kind of focus on metal pens. I enjoy a metal pen because it's very solid. Often, very bright colors, the nice things that acrylic offers, they're nice as well. But a metal pen, I felt this way since I started to get into fountain pens, has an interesting quality of its own because it feels very robust. So anyway, there we have it. These are interesting pens. I have also reviewed their EDC as well as their luxury, which looks like this. Those are more pocket pens. The pens that we'll talk about today are bigger. They're more, let's say, regular sized pen. I'll cover the parts of the pen. I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it. I'll do a writing sample. Very kind thank you to Scrivener for sending me these. Let's get started. Okay, the Scrivener Classic in British Racing Green. It's a green. I like to show you that against a black background because it can actually look black under specific light. Sorry for that really loud noise. Scrivener very kindly sent me a second one of these. This one actually is black. So there are different finishes available. Have a look at what tickles your heart and then maybe get that one. Nice simple box. You have this little bed, a black and a blue cartridge. You get a warranty extension card with a QR code, and you have a whole filling instructions. Thank you for buying this type deal that comes in the box as well. Let me put all this away. I'll show you the pen. If you don't mind, I'm just going to focus on the racing green finish, but the other one I've tried as well, worked in exactly the same way. Here you see the pen next to a Pilot Metropolitan, clearly similar size, and I would say about the same girth. The Scrivener is a little thinner. These come in at $47.99. You have your pick of fine or medium steel nibs made by Schmidt. This is lacquer and chrome. As I said, comes with a converter as well as a black and a blue cartridge. So you have your pick of ink color. Let's look at the parts of the pen. On top we have quite a nice finial. This looks almost a bit like mother of pearl, which I'm certain it's not, but it does lend a nice classy look to this pen. I think it's a nice detail for a pen in this price segment. As stated, a lot of chrome. We have these clips. I really like the grooves that Scrivener puts into the clips. It looks quite distinguished and elevates it a bit visually. We have the Scrivener logo again there in the center band, as well as Scrivener on the back. Now we have the barrel that tapers down. You have another little chrome ring and a chrome end cap there. This clip is nice and springy. I feel like if I pull this really hard, I might bend it out of shape. It is nice and good snap back. It's not flimsy, but maybe do be a little careful with it. Snap cap with a very solid clunk mechanism, but snap cap, section tapers down, chrome cap lip, and then a number 5 Schmidt nib, unbranded. This is medium, quite nice, with a plastic feed and a converter supplied with the pen and branded. I think the branding is just a nice touch of detail, but it's very nice that you get a converter with the pen. I've seen much more expensive pens that don't come with a converter, even though they really should, I feel. A slimmer pen, for sure, but a nice size, I think, and of course you can post it, and then you get a much bigger pen because it doesn't post very deeply. It can become a little top heavy, but having said that, I think this is a size that works for a lot of people. Just if you like very girthy pens, this is probably not for you because it is definitely slimmer, but lengthwise I think it is exactly the right size for many people. Now, having said that, why don't we have a look at how the pen writes. So here we have a Scrivener. This is I'm just going to call it the Classic. We have a medium steel nib, and we have waterman blue. Sorry, that was not a skip, that was just lack of handwriting skill. Watermelon blue, simple blue. These are simple, unassuming pens that look good, and I think that's perfectly fine. They write very nicely. The other one out of the box also wrote very nicely. I haven't had any issues with it, haven't had any skips with it, haven't had any hard starts. It's a pretty smooth writer. This paper is Ayush. It has a little bit of texture to it, so it can make nibs sound a little scratchy. It's really not. It's a nice, smooth nib that's on the wetter end of things. As to line variation, as these pens are now my property, thank you Scrivener, I don't mind pushing it fairly hard, harder than I would recommend, but you can definitely get some line variation out of this. I would not recommend anyone to do this. This is really pushing it, but for the purpose of a review, again, I'm pushing this harder than I would recommend anyone to do it, but then you can get quite a bit of line variation out of it. It is not a flex nib. It is not advertised as a flex nib, so I would not do this, but again, I'm pushing it to the limit here for the review. What about reverse writing? Well, that's possible, but it gets dry very quickly. So I wouldn't buy this one to do upside down writing with if that is your inclination. I think for the price it's a very nicely made pen. I am a little partial to racing green, I must say. It's a very classic British color and I quite like it. Solidly made pen, works exactly as advertised. I don't know what else to say. So let's talk about some likes and some dislikes. Pizzazz. What do I like? What do I not like about this pen by Scrivener? I think there's quite a lot to like. They're not super cheap, but these are in the, I would say, for that brand, the more affordable range, $47.99. I know it's not cheap, but I do think you get a pretty solid pen. A lot of metal parts, writes nicely, and at the end of the day, that's what you buy a pen for, right? Writes nicely. To me, these pens would make very good corporate gifts, or even just gifts that you want to present to someone, say to get them into fountain pens. It's a solidly made pen and it writes and it does everything. Straight out of the box it writes. I have two, both of them wrote very nicely out of the box. So I really have no issues with that. One thing that might be a pet peeve of mine, this is not a negative one by the way, but the cap has a really solid click. I really like that. I've always kind of liked that, and probably weird that way, but anyway, posts nicely, gets a little top heavy because then it doesn't post very deeply, a little top heavy because of all the metal, but overall I don't think that's a huge issue. Negatives, I don't have that many. I think it's a pretty solid writer, and that's what you buy a pen for. So it could maybe be cheaper, and it would be nice if things were cheaper, but they aren't always. So I think you get quite a lot for what you pay. You get a black and a blue cartridge along with it. You can write straight away. It also comes with a converter. I've seen pens 10 times the cost of these that did not come with a converter, right? So I mean, I think that is the brand is to be commended for that. They also have a 30-day money-back warranty, and I'm not trying to sell you on the company, but bear in mind, a lot of pen companies these days give you a year of warranty, if that. Scrivener says if you send the pen back within 30 days because you didn't like it, you get your money back. I think that is a solid thing to do, and it does help, right? If you're not sure about whether this is the right for you, buy it anyway. Try it out. Don't like it, send it back. Money back. Done. So there we are. I don't have much negative to say about it. I think it does everything it promises to do. You take it out of the box, you put in ink and it writes. It doesn't skip, it doesn't hard start. I haven't had any issues with it. It's a good writer. So there you are. A very kind thank you to Scrivener for sending me these. I really appreciate it. I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye.